Hello, everybody. Welcome. Roses like investigator. You know what? I have to adjust the volume. So it's interesting, that with the microphones, if you change the settings, then you have to readjust it because I make it so that the computer will increase the volume because I know over time people complained about it. So anyway, just fixing the audio. And as a protection, I like to ask for protection, a beautiful ray of light coming on top of my head as I breathe in. I fill my lungs as I breathe out. I create a circle. I create a circle. I step into it. I step into it. I feel protected. I feel connected. I like to ask that information come only from the highest sources, that it create the good and only the good and so I'm going to try something a little bit different. I've talked about this before. Let's see if I'll succeed. So what I'm going to do is that I'll do one topic per video. Let's see if I can do it today because there's a lot to talk about today. Not that there's like three or four. Actually, I made a note of all the topics, but I'm afraid of my own kind of like slowness, because there's so many breaking news all the time that if I just do one thing, uh, I don't have to like it doesn't theoretically it wouldn't accumulate as much. So let's see. So I was, I when I have talked, we talk often on the phone. And she's just taking a break. I know some of you have asked. She's doing good. She's taking a break. She just wants to heal her eyes. So, but she's good otherwise. Okay. All right. Thanks for asking. And so there's several. There's the topic of Trump sending the missiles tomorrow to California. And a lot of you yesterday, I was getting messages late last night about this event saying, Rosie, is this going to be the moment when Trump goes, that this is going to be taken. And I remember that Corinne and I had this conversation, and I think we talked about this missile in California, but I think it was before. I don't think it was this, but it just reminded me of that. So let's look into that. We have to look into that. Also, some Russian person saying that Elon should build a tunnel to connect Alaska and Russia. There's another one that's what was the other? There's a few other things, but and there's also, I'm definitely not going to do this one now because Trump is meeting with Zelensky about the whole thing. So we'll talk about that on another one. But let's start with this issue. It's really a big deal. Can you imagine a president sending missiles? Like it's so relevant. I saw this comment. Someone said, "Oh, I think it was Corina actually." She said that road. Let's see if I can read what she wrote here. Okay. He's trying to scare protesters, but I can't believe they would shoot actual missiles. When they hit Camp Pendleton, how are they going to limit the damage? They have to land somewhere. Trump is probably telling the military to have one fall short and land in the crowd. Highway 5 that they plan to shut down is one of the only freeways that runs through California. It's almost like, oh, I want to do a Pearl Harbor. I want to do it myself against because it's working against the country. So I'm glad I did a lot of, crystal healing for myself today, removing any dark energies because it's heavy out there, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, how is this even real? But it is what we're dealing with. So let's ask that because that is a really, really tough question. In addition to that, let me ask about the protests tomorrow, the No King's Day, because I think it's obviously very connected, right? He's doing it to scare people. So I did the protection already. So let's ask. Actually, let me get the news just to read it and then I'll look into it. So this is the situation that we're dealing with. Trump wants to fire missiles over California on the same day as No Kings. Donald Trump wants to shut down a stretch of California highway to fire missiles during his second vanity parade. Like, what kind of sick person does that, really? Okay. Donald Trump is planning to throw himself another vanity parade, and this time it might include Navy warships hurtling missiles towards the state of California. California Governor Newsom is considering whether to shut down sections of Interstate 5 on Friday and Saturday as reports circulates that the White House intends to shoot live ordnance over the highway at Camp Pendleton in San Diego County. Newsom's office told the LA Times that it had received little or no information about the event or safety plans. Neither the White House or Marine Corps had responded to questions from either publication. The show of force is intended to commemorate the Marine Corps 250th anniversary and will run counter to the nationwide No Kings protests, which uses the visuals of millions of protesters to ideologically challenge Trump's unopposed rule. Oh my God. The event called Sea to Shore, a review of amphibious strength, will be led by Vice President J.D. Vance. Donald Trump and J.D. Vance think that shutting down the I-5 to shoot out missiles from ships is how you respect the military. The governor told Media Touch that his office is working to minimize what would be a massive disruption and reckless disregard for California's infrastructure and communities. So it is what it is, right? So, I mean, there's no universe in which this is acceptable, normal, or like imagine. And guys, you know how much those things cost to produce. They just like it's like to him, it's like fireworks. But I think ultimately it's about fear, right? Because it's like this thing. If something malfunctions, it could harm people, right? And I think that's it. It's meant to scare us. When you read something like that, it's scary. And I can't imagine if I'm in California and imagine being parents or something like that. Like you make plans for the weekend or you have whatever you want to do with your life, you can't because the guy decided to shoot missiles at his own country. So it's, I mean, he's been saying that very clearly, very openly when he had the military over there in whatever, wherever that was, that meeting with the generals, that the purpose of the military is to attack the USA, not outside of it, inside. And then to have this useless war with Venezuela. Venezuela, what the hell? It's just a total distraction. Instead of going after that, right? That's what he's doing. Now, having said that, let's ask, and show me, Spirit, the image of what's going on. Just observing. Okay. Okay, so what's going on, Spirit? What does Trump want? I see that he wants to shoot the protesters. Like that's what he really wants. So so what? Okay, I'm just saying that he wants some sort of malfunction to happen and to accidentally hurt people. So, Spirit, are you saying that he wants to attack the US? Yes, he does. I mean, he's been saying it. He means it. And I think, and now I have noticed a lot of those people, the tech bros, when I check in on them, they're losing their minds. It's weird because they have a lot of power, they have a lot of money. You would think that they would relax. No, I think they realize how hated they really are and how we're not going to obey them. We're not going to just sit back. And they're getting desperate because we know that they stole the election, right? So sooner or later that is coming out. So 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 what's happening in this? So that's right. And this is the thing. This is okay. This is who he really is because an enemy would like to do that, right? If you think of a foreign, some other country or something, terrorists of 9/11 and such, right? They want to hurt the US, right? So it's a fantasy of theirs to do that. But there he comes to, no, no, don't worry. We don't need no enemies. We don't need no, when you have me, you don't need that, right? So he is scapegoating the blue states, the states that make money, right? To try to scare it's a revenge on the population. That's right. Okay. So does it make sense? The goal really is to scare people, to stop the protests, to show that they have power, to threaten them and to harass them. And okay, I'm telling you all of this. This is the goal. We're not Like I need to get into what is actually going to happen. You know, that what reminds me, I'm very sad to tell you this because I don't think it's going to happen at all ever. But you know what Assad did to Syria, right? Assad in the areas that were Sunni, that were not, I mean, people were opposed to him for many reasons. It wasn't just the Sunnis, but he selected so there's different Muslim sects, right, in Syria, we know that. So those were the areas where he sent the like the chemical weapons that like froze people in place, basically, like his own people. And I think if Trump is allowed to do everything he wants, that's what he wants. I think he's capable of doing that. If I don't think it's going to happen, really, to that degree, but doesn't make sense. It's the same essence. It's like those people, they think that there's something wrong with me. Let me just kill them all. Kill them all. Like really, that's his how he feels like this. He talks about it. Now, okay, I'll get it. Now let's go to and please, Spirit, show me this information very objectively. I want to show it on my mind screen. No, no, sorry. No. So I see that what if it's like particularly like overcast and on that time around that time, and there's JD Vance trying to be like, yeah, I'm tough guy, tough guy. And then the military doesn't. They may, so what does it mean? They're gonna do something else. They're not. I see JD Vance leaving, not happy with what happens. And but I see also it's showing me an image of the protest. I do see that there's people with masks that they may try to shoot at the crowd in different locations. Infiltrators, right? I mean, guys, I don't know that I'm gonna go from, my on my own for the obvious reasons why the whole I don't want to put myself at risk in any way. That's the reason why I think I'm not gonna go. I don't think I'm gonna, yeah. So I'll see. We'll see what's gonna happen. I feel like they could try to do something like that in California. And like the same, how they did it with Charlie Kirk or whatever, and the whole, something like that becomes, but I see, no, I do think that Gavin Newsom is in control of the situation, that he's aligned with the military, and that he arrests people that were trying to do, the saboteurs. And I think, wow, I see some of the saboteurs could even be linked to those tech bros. And it's saying that it's a war. Gavin is it's a war, it's a cyber war. And we're he's taking great care of California, I feel like. So he will stop the wars from happening. But this is the energy that they have. Now, why are they? I mean, I understand why, right? Because they want to keep power. They want to push his. He wants to be a dictator autocrat, and he wants the population to submit, right? This is obvious. Now, what is actually going to happen? As we know, the energy of what's happening, and there's more happening that we're going to talk about later in other videos. Like I said, I'm going to try to limit the video length by sticking to one topic. But anyway, so the point is that the energy is like to escalate. They're escalating and escalating and escalating. Why and what's going to happen here? What is the big picture here for them? What do they want? To scare the population and to have, that's right, they want to say that they want to have a total like autocrat kind of place where you could be arrested for anything, and if you don't obey, you have to obey, you have to say his name, like a Stalin type of scenario, really. But does anything stop it? What stops it? You know what I see actually, that there's as this, I don't think Trump is going to California, right? But I see that he's in the White House and military people come in, have a conversation. And I think he gets a little scared. It's a warning. I see that they may come to him to give him a warning. I don't think, he's gonna fire anybody who says something like, uh, you know, something like that they don't agree. That's not, we're beyond that, right? But it's just something that he gets this feeling. He knows that there's something going on. And I see that they have given the signals already to him or his people, and he's not changing, right? So he wants us, I feel like what he really wants is a state of permanent war inside the country and outside. So that, right, destruction, division, and terror. So So, okay, so I'm gonna ask a question. I know, I've learned ever since the whole election thing in Kamala, the vision of him being removed by the military doesn't change. I think this is very stable. What I've learned over time is that I get very upset if I'm like, oh, is this, because we see the is and try to fit I was like, is this the thing that's gonna? I think I've learned to almost like not get excited about anything because we don't, and I feel like the more I try, like when I tried to do it, it doesn't, I get really stressed out. We're not supposed to know exactly. We don't know how it will, the exact moment or the thing that is going to do it. I think the bottom line is he's working against our interests, is violating the Constitution, him and people in the Supreme Court. But that's where we are at. Okay, so what is going on? What is going on? Interesting. He looks up and there's the sky, the clouds are dark. And he knows it's like, I know I'm going. I'm no, wow. I see that he knows he's not going to live forever. Like he's talked about it. He knows he's going to hell, basically. He said it. But I'm also getting that he feels like if I'm not going to stay, then it gets even more evil. It's like, then I might as well just stop with this BS, right? Because I feel like he gets energy from this, from fear, from intimidation, from trying to scare the population, right? So, so, so what will he do? I think he knows there's something is up. Something is up. And I feel like okay, I have to tell you this. I don't know exactly, again, the details, the hows, the this or the that. It's not clear. I think the military has been activated in the sense of they are watching him because, guys, this is serious, right? It's not it's like, the whole normalization thing. When they want to make it normalize that they can shoot missiles at their own country. Like, oh yeah, it just happens all the time. It's not normal. It is not normal. That's why there's all these sites in the deserts in the US to do these types of things. You don't do it where people live because there could be accidents, right? So I see that there is like a warning to Trump, actually. The military refuses to do this. Or they will do a modified version to say that puts people in that we're not meant to hurt the population. That's what they, and I see the JD Vance. So, and then I see this picture of some, back behind the scenes people um assigning things, okay, and very, very secretive. But we're not supposed to know. I'm not supposed to know. And I had a call with somebody. She's really nice, but she kept like, so when it never it shuts down. I'm not I've relaxed in this point, right? Like I don't know exactly what will make them do it, whatever they may do. It's not clear what exactly. We just have to stand to clear the energy, our energy every day, whenever we are exposed to the news, the situation. Stand in the vision, like in our visions for the better future every day. Every day you have to do this work because I feel like we become contaminated when we're exposed to all of this. We become contaminated. I do this work of using this dark stone. A lot of the black stones are really great for cleansing. And I felt it. I felt even dizzy because it was, the removing the lower vibration because we're exposed to it 24/7, even when we are at home because of the news and the internet and all that. So it is the world that we're living in, but we have to stand in the light as this progresses because I still feel like they are the ones who are gonna dig their own demise. They are digging it now as we speak. So, okay, so now that's the last question. What is going to happen? Let's see. over the weekend and then towards next week related to this, the protests and the missiles over California. I see that interesting that Gavin Newsom will make arrests of saboteurs. Yes. And there's saboteurs more. It's not just the army, is that there's like saboteurs. And he has talked to these powerful people in California, wealthy people, to kind of like get their support, I guess, or alert them or something. Because why? That's right. To alert people who own business, big businesses and such, what's going on. And I think he's gonna hold his ground. And I see that Trump, so what is gonna happen in it? So, and then I see Trump arrested. Interesting. Again, guys, I've learned to observe, to let spirit take care of it, right? And just see it from a distance, and to send the light so that the truth may come out and that the darkness is removed, is exposed and removed. And it's saying that it's sort of like saying it's like a cockroach or a mouse or something. That you have to see them in order to get rid of them. So, so that's what's happening. So I just that's what I feel like. Honestly, if you are, and I feel like California for some reason, he's obsessed with California more than New York, I think. That there may be infiltrators and they may try to do something to scare the population, but ultimately it will backfire and there will be arrests of people, like the terrorists, right, sent by Trump to like harm the protesters. And we're gonna get close, we're getting closer to them being unmasked. Okay. So guys, and also I want to tell you about my trolling. So I think it was like a couple of nights ago, I get so angry with all this. I started to just go to them. I think did I tell you this that I just go to these bros that know work with Elon Musk and Peter Thiel. Like they were talking about the NSA. Oh, the NSA, we need to like hire the right people. And I said, oh, you need to hire Russia because Russia gave you this government. It's true, right? If it wasn't for Putin, you would not have nothing. You'll have nothing. You really, right? And it's saying that's right. And I was talking to Corinne about it. The whole, remember Stephen Colbert when he started, I mean, not started, he started really like back in the day, but when he started the character that when Bush was in power, he had he had that even that expression, truthiness. He was 24/7 in character, pretending to be Republican. And that was really successful and eerie even. So, and he was in character because he could, if he dresses up a certain way, he can pass for, I mean, I guess pass for the old school Republican before MAGA came along. But that's that. Okay, okay, so this is it for now, guys, because like I said, I don't want to get too many topics in one video. I'm gonna move to the next topic, which is going to be things related to Elon Musk that are and satellites. Okay, so the next video. But for now, thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye.